Waheguru Ji ki Khalsa, Waheguru Ji ki Fateh. Welcome to the first full episode of Our Earth Brain. I'm your host, Christina, and I'll introduce myself if you haven't seen the introduction videos. Mera naam Christina hai, main Banaras mein reh rahi thi 11 saal se. मैं नर्स हूँ और वहाँ इलाज दिया सड़क पे हरे जन के लिए, इसीलिए थोड़ा हिंदी आते, पर अभी मैं पंजाबी सीख रही हैं. And this is how I fell in love with Indian culture. I lived there. मेरा जान है वहाँ बनारस में, हिंदुस्तान में. So let's jump right in. Today's episode is going to focus on the relationship between Eck On Kar and the narrative of the dominant global culture. So, for my brothers and sisters who do not know, Eck On Kar are the very first words that are spoken, that are sung in the Guru Granth Sahib Ji, the holy scriptures for the Sikhon log, for Sikh people. And this is very important to understand because this one phrase is actually the answer to every question we've ever had. Everything is interrelated because everything comes from one source, the source of creation. Now, we can understand this through another way to look at it with Christ consciousness. So, I was raised Catholic, and within Catholicism, we revere Jesus. Now, Jesus was actually Jesus of Nazareth, but he's called Jesus the Christ because he accessed, like Baba Nanak Dev Ji, he accessed Christ consciousness. He was aware that everything here is interrelated. Everything here is actually of that one source. And that's what it means to have Christ consciousness, to not use the eyes that the ego uses to live within the Maya, but to see beyond form and to actually perceive with our higher consciousness the love that resides within every living being that was given to us from our Creator. So, everything has significance. Everything has significance. And if we look at this word, everything is a sign if I can see. Now, this is a beautiful thing because within the global dominant culture, we have used American money. American money, on every single piece of American currency, there are two phrases. And the first is e pluribus unum. And this means out of the one, many, or of many, one. Now, this phrase is in Latin, but it is almost identical to Eck On Kar. It does not have the spiritual context that Eck On Kar does, but the second phrase that is on every single piece of American currency is, in God we trust. Now, some people have a hard time with the word God, but let's reframe the word God to mean the source of creation. Now, we have to trust in that source of creation because it's what gives us life. It's what animates us. It's what makes everything come to life. Seeds turn into trees. And we with our limited ego consciousness, we can't control that. It is all pervasive. It's all around us. It is the absolute. And now I want to talk about the power of mantra, because e pluribus unum, in God we trust, and Eck On Kar are all mantras. Now, the power of mantra is the power of joined thought. When we join our intention, that's where the strength is. With each person's thought that joins with that intention, it culminates as energy within this realm, within the physical realm. Now, we may think of it as formless, but it is actually form. It is energy. So I'll give you a little example. When I first lived in India, I was traveling. I was a traveler falling in love with the culture. I was discovering how my Indian brothers and sisters were socialized, I was like a kid in a candy shop, looking at how culture is imbued, how culture is put upon people. And so a little bit about Indian culture. When I first lived in India, I was a traveler, and I was in awe of all the symbolism I was seeing around me. I was new to the culture. I purposely didn't research. I wanted to be without judgment. I wanted to be an open canvas, a blank canvas for the experience to unfold. And what I noticed were there, of course, because of the polytheism, there are multiple gods, and there are pictures of gods everywhere. Now, insofar as the power of mantra, I want to talk about Ganesh. So Ganesh is the elephant-headed god that many people would recognize. And Ganesh is known for many things. He's a god of travelers, so of course I felt a connection with him there. But he's most prominently known for being the remover of obstacles. And so, to understand the power of mantra, here's my example. As I was traveling, if ever there were a problem or there was some kind of something that needed to be solved, what I would do is think of Ganesh. And in that moment, in that very moment, just with the thought, joining my creative intention, my mind's power to the thought of Ganesh, I would instantly see a Ganesh, whether it was I would turn my head and see a Ganesh poster, or a rickshaw would drive by and there would be Ganesh on the rickshaw, or someone would come up and introduce themselves and their name was Ganesha. Ganesh would appear. And in that very moment, I would feel relieved because all of a sudden the door was open to the answer. The obstacles were removed. And so this is the thing, joining my creative power, my thought, to that intention of removing obstacles, removed the obstacles. Because for billions of people, for thousands of years, have been praying to Ganesh with that intention. Every one of those thoughts, all of that energy joined together. And that energy is culminating. It grows. And so just joining with that intention, that whole vast universe of power comes to me. And that's the power of intention, the power of mantra, joining our intention together. Now, the next thing that we can understand is that this is all intelligently designed. There's no accident that our thoughts create our reality because we are all one. There is one mind here. That mind is the intelligent design. And we go about it doing our daily life, living from an ego place, feeling like we're separate. But in fact, that energy doesn't end. It extends from the source of creation into me and every other living being here. And so intelligent design, we can understand with intelligent design that all of the stories that have happened here on planet Earth, all of these stories are intelligently woven together. Now, when I was studying nursing, this is where I really began to understand intelligent design. Because I would learn about, take for example, a pregnancy. And at this week, a certain amount of this nutrient is needed, and at this week, a certain amount of that. And if all of these things aren't lined up, we don't have a perfect human body. And so that was my first introduction to intelligent design. I was mesmerized, actually, by how intelligently designed the human body is. And it is self-healing, just like the planet. Our Mother Earth is self-healing. If we got out of the way, she's doing it anyway, but we could take away all of the things that we're doing that aren't good for the planet, that aren't good for every other living species here. All of these stories are intertwined. And so when I discovered Sant Ji this summer, I was elated. I was so happy to know that there was someone who called forth this truth, who called forth the truth of Eck On Kar, who tried to reignite that passion within the Sikh community to stand for that truth, Baba Nanak's truth, that we are one human family. You are the warriors for peace. This I understand. And this is another one of those stories that's interwoven. We have to, our human brothers and sisters here, we have to understand this. We have to understand that everything that's happened had its place. We need to tell the truth about it in order to forgive the past and move forward into our new way, a new way that we will collectively create as human beings here. And this new way needs leaders. Humans on this earth, we've looked at our leaders and we can't trust them anymore. We kind of know that they aren't entirely for the good of all. And it's a complicated issue, but greed comes into play, greed of money, profit being the main focus of corporations. So we need leaders who will lead us out of that Maya so we can create a new system of exchange where the value is placed on what is best for our human family, what is best for all living beings, what is best for our planet, to have a real value-based economy, one that we can believe in, one that we feel inspired by, and one that we are happy to contribute to, because everyone has their perfect part to play. Everyone is here to make manifest their destiny. You were given that spark of passion, and you can look at your life. All of your life has informed you. You are unique. Every one of your experiences informs who you are and what you're here to bring. You will lead the way, my Sikh brothers and sisters. And this is what Sant Jarnail Singh Khalsa Bhindranwale Ji tried to expose, is that you are the leaders. And we can, as the rest of the world, we can look to you. We can be grateful, we can be comforted to know that you are here. There are Sikhs in every field. They can step up and lead the way because humans are ingenious. We have all the tools. Everything is here that we need to co-create peace on earth. That's what we're here to do. That's the greater story. That's the greatest story ever told. And we are in the process of creating it. And my Sikh brothers and sisters, I'm here to call you out. This idea of Khalistan, it's not for a single nation state. It's for the world to celebrate. Khalistan, there are multiple meanings. One of those meanings is pure. And isn't that what this is about? To make this world a pure place so we can celebrate the joy that was meant as our birthright, the freedom that was meant as our birthright, sovereignty that is our birthright. This is what you're here to fight for. And in fact, it's not even about fighting. There needs to be no fight. when the human family comes together as one human voice, power will be eradicated. However, power, as Frederick Douglass said, power never concedes without a demand. Now, I'd like to paraphrase that and say power never concedes without force. And Sant Jarnail Singh Bhindranwale Ji, he was calling forth the force, the power that is within you. You are righteous. You are righteous in this because you have held in your hearts the truth of Eck On Kar, that everyone is your brother and sister. This is who you are. This is why I am so confident and so happy and so comforted to be part of the Sangat, because you are the ones who will lead the way. We need to unite our intention, our mind's creative power for the one cause of peace on earth, for that which benefits all. This is what it means. It says, I've heard it said that you should give your head, that the Sikhs give their head. Now, one interpretation of this is shahidi. One interpretation is to martyr yourself. However, I believe there's a metaphysical component to this, and that is to give your mind's energy, that this is the true meaning of it, to actually give the power of your mind, that creative force, that intention, to give it to this cause. And in truth, you're already doing it, because every morning with the Mool Mantra, the very first words, Eck On Kar. This is the truth. This is the power of intention. When we join it together, it is unstoppable. The force is unstoppable. And all of our brothers and sisters, whether it be in the police or the military or corporations, they will feel this truth resonate in their hearts. And with some education, they will begin to understand the purity of the Khalsa. They will understand and also be comforted to be part of the Sangat. And they will also join their intention. And we will have a global celebration. As Baba Nanak predicted, this is supposed to be joyous. That's why Bani is sung. We're all in this together as one human family. And when we come together and we're creating together with one cause, it produces all of the happy hormones. And we feel that bliss, we feel that elation. It actually, cooperation produces more of a happy high than any drug or stimulant can give you. And we know this. We know when we're working together, if we do seva and we have a big team of people and we're all working for the same cause, there is a beautiful feeling that exists within us, that teamwork. That's also one of the reasons why sports are actually important, because that idea, that sensation of teamwork, it is why we are here. We are here to work together to bring peace on earth, so that we can cancel out all of the negativity that came from the stories before. Recognize it, tell the truth about it, so we can forgive it, and we can step into the joy which is our birthright. It makes no sense for us to seek a small nation state like Khalistan. And the Indian government will never concede its power that way. But your vision is much larger than one nation state. Your vision is Eck On Kar. That is who you are. And so this is how we can understand that all of the stories are intertwined. Because Sant Ji did not act alone. Sant Ji was acting on the actual birth of Sikhi. Gobind Singh's mission. Gobind Singh was the one who merged caste, because You are the warrior caste. You are the ones who defended the line of India for thousands of years. Very interestingly, the rest of India, women, they wear saris, but not in Punjab, because you got to be able to run. And that's the thing. Even the women are warriors. It is the warrior caste. He merged that, Gobind Singh did. He merged that caste, that thing which is built into your DNA. He merged that with the faith. He merged that with Baba Nanak Dev Ji's vision. He merged it with all the gurus, with all the message to create the Khalsa. And the Khalsa is about fighting for that truth. That truth needs defenders. And you are that. That's who you are. It seems so simple to me. It seems so simple that we can come together as one human family, that we would have the Singhs to lead the way, the leaders, these righteous leaders that you are, to lead the way with that confidence and the pride of the pack of lions, the pride that exists within you for standing for the truth, for knowing the truth, for believing the truth, for feeling it as your essence. This is who you are. You're here to help bring forth this truth, to help awaken the sleeping people on this earth, the people who are just living out of daily existence from ego, so that we can come together and co-create a beautiful new way. This is what Sant Ji was really doing. You know, the narrative that's spun on him, the media's narrative, is that of violence. And much, much, much of the Sikh history, when you look at the media's narrative, is spun with that web of violence. And that is not who you are. That is not who you are at all. You are the warriors for peace. That's actually who you are. And the inverse of it is true, is that the violence has been put upon you many, many times. And so it's time to tell the truth about all of this. It's time for these stories, all the stories of the world, all of the injustices, all the hatred, all the prejudice, all the racism, oppression, and discrimination, all of it to be told so that we can have a global grieving. We need to grieve all of it. Right now we're functioning, we're just all trying to keep it all together. And so we won't cry about it, we won't talk about it. There are so many things that need to be spoken, that need to be brought to light. And we can do that. And you can help lead the way in that. And we can move beyond the emotions that are attached with that to forgive it, so we can actually recognize one another. And we can see that we are one human family. We can recognize the essence in our brother and our sister and be joyous and actually smile as we pass people in the street. And that's the thing. Smiles, we are mirrors for each other's consciousness. My smile evokes yours. And so bringing forth that joy that exists within you, that I see in the Gurudwara and I see when I'm with members of the Sangat, that joy is yours now to shine forth. It's yours to bring forth, to awaken our human family who's sleeping in despair, to awaken them to the joy that you experience that is your birthright, that is part of what the whole message of Baba Nanak Dev Ji was, is that we are one human family and that we are equal in the eyes of our Creator. We are all equally composed of the matter of this earth, and we are all equally given free will to create. We have choice in what it is we want to create. And I choose to stand with the message of Sant Jarnail Singh. I choose that. That's my free will, and I choose it because it brings me joy, because I feel it is righteous, because I know it is the way. This is how all the stories come together, is the Sikh Log come forth to lead for us as humans. This was his message. This is it. This is us recognizing the truth of Eck On Kar. It's time. The planet is in desperate need, and everyone is waiting for this. Every human heart longs for this. And it's just time. It's so simple. Everything has significance. All of the stories have significance. It's time to bring them all together so we can understand this global narrative that's been of dominance and subordination will no longer exist. We are about to blow that out of the water. And that's what Sikhs are here to do, to make good with Eck On Kar, to shout forth that truth so we can look at all of these stories gently, patiently, and then begin the global celebration of co-creation to create here what's best for all living beings, to bring forth this power of intention, to unite your head, your mind with that intention, to give it your creative power, that free will that was given you, so that we can recognize our birthright of freedom. It is our birthright, and we can create Khalistan in the world. This would be the way. This is what I truly believe is the purpose of intelligent design. That all of these stories we can look at, bring them together to understand the purpose of why they happened, to bring us to this point that we are at today, where we can all recognize the world is in peril and we need help. And that help will come from the leaders, the ones who were given the title of Singh and Kaur, the ones who were given the title of equality and leadership. That's who you are. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm on Punjab TV. I am here to call forth that message. I've held it in my heart since I was a child. Since the age of 7, I've looked at this world and thought, what are we doing here? This is insane. And I've always known that when I was a grown-up, that we would change it because we have all the knowledge. I actually made that declaration when I was 7 without realizing it was a declaration. I said to myself, matter of fact, very plainly, well, the world won't be this way when I grow up because me and my friends will change it. We'll have the knowledge to change it. Now, that was a declaration made as a child, but I have never lost that intention. Every cell in my body holds it, and that is why I found the Sangat. That is why when I saw the image of Sant Jarnail Singh Bhindranwale, I was totally elated. Once I began to understand who he was, what he stood for, I wish I was there to join him. But I'm here now to help carry forth that message, because it is the message of truth. It's Baba Nanak Dev Ji's truth. It's your truth. It's why the Khalsa was formed. It's why you go to the Gurudwara. It's why you're part of the Sangat, to feel a sense of belonging in something that is righteous, something that is pure. And this is who you are. Mere Sikhon Parivar, thank you very much. Thank you for your precious attention. And may you give your intention to the benefit of all. Thank you.